Hello everyone, this is Spartan Assassins here, and today I'm going to talk about basically my thoughts on War and Diplomacy mod itself. And if you look at the screen now, it's actually, we are playing as Liu Yao in the 190 start date, which this mod updated quite recently. And I made this campaign mostly in the Chinese version, which is basically uploaded in Bilibili. So I was speaking Mandarin at that time. But I'm going to talk basically what are my thoughts on it. So after quite some times of playing, it's not to say that the mod isn't fun. In a way that, yes, I do understand the need for the mod to make the game for hardcore players, but this is really more over the line hardcore. So for beginners, I wouldn't even suggest you to play any small factions, even if it means like the Empire Hu or Liu Yao, which might, or even Wang Lang, which haven't got updated yet. Heck, even Sheng Xian or Zhang Zhao Zhelong, any of the minor faction, I wouldn't even tell you go ahead, get yourself the mod and play the smaller factions. But instead, I would rather ask you to go for the main faction, which are already in the base game since the beginning of the release of 3K. So one of the things that I actually find it ridiculous is the unit quality for the AI as compared to your unit quality. Let's be honest here. I'm playing as Liu Yao now, and I only have so this is the Yang province, the Wu commandery, these three here. So in the Wu commandery, you have Jianye, you have copper mine here, as well as the salt mine, and you only have Jianye and the copper mine for starters, especially Liu Yao. So your economy won't be that good, and we are now in turn 10, so basically this is a lost campaign from my point of view. And one thing to note is that if this is one of Cao Cao's strongest stacks, which is led by Hou Ying. So supposedly it was led by Cao Chun, but I managed to kill him in the battle. But eventually I still lose, and I'll show you the unit that actually lost the fight. So what you can see is a level 10 full stack here. I wanted to talk about this in my Gong Sun Zhan campaign for episode 4, but somehow the audio was having some issues, which is why I didn't upload the Gong Sun Zhan episode 4 yet. But yeah. So this is basically the unit that actually needed my main army led by Liu Yao. And so we have these elite units, the tiger and leopard calves, tiger cubs, all these are all elite units. Especially you have some Onyx Dragon here. Yeah, Onyx Dragon. So what is the issue here? As you can see, we are in turn 10, and your enemy is going full hardcore with level 10 stacks, which until now though, it's not possible, I would say. I think, let me get a Fan Neng here. Okay. So this is Fan Neng's unit, which is around level 5 at the start of the recruitment, and now we could recruit level 8 units because during our tech tree, I believe I've explained it multiple times in my Gong Sun Zhan reruns and stuff. So if I were to go the raid tree, I could get around plus 10 for champion units, like basically the wood units, and if I go even further, I could go for sentinel units level 10 and strategist units level 10. These are all doable, but it is not doable in 10 turns. So you can reach level 10 in 20 turns for basically any units that you want to focus on. So if you are a champion focus, so most of the time you go for the champion tree, which you can get it in 20 turns level 10. And we are just in turn 10, so our units are like what, level 8. This is the max I could go for in 10 turns, but you can clearly see Cao Cao is already having like level 10 in an instant. That is like within 10 turns. Or I would say the truth is by turn 2 or turn 3. So starting from turn 2 or turn 3, the units will go from level 1 straight up to level 10 out of nowhere. It's basically out of nowhere, straight up, instant level 10. So this is not a bug. This is not a bug. This is actually a feature in the mod which you guys have to be aware. Like even if our good friend here Yan Pai, he has some level 10 units here, and same goes to Wang Lang, level 10 units here. So this is the issue. It is quite hard for players to go from level 1 to level 10 because they have to do all the tech tree research, but the AI just somehow like, fuck this shit, we are just going full level 10 regardless of how small or big you are as a faction. As long as we get level 10 units, let's fuck the player. That's basically the entire mod is meant to be. So this is what happens. It kills the main purpose of unit balance for the sake of super hardcore. You can't find any units which are strong enough to defeat a level 10 stack early on, unless you actually build another stack filled with level 10 units which can go head to head with such units. So the first 10 to 20 turns is basically what you need to do is just speed up your economy so that you could survive, but your unit will be trash early on because it's basically useless. Even if I go full level 9, you can clearly see there are some units which are considered elite to be quite expensive in this mod. But this is understandable. I kind of like the way that they want to portray units which are elite to be expensive, while those which are considered as cannon fodders to be cheap. But that's alright. That's not the main issue regarding the recruitment and upkeep cost. I don't find it quite difficult to handle such issue. But another praise for the mod is actually the calves. Calves in this mod are very, very OP. Overpowered to the point that they can kill your general, especially champions or even sentinels in a few seconds, even without Sun Ce. You can basically kill any general fast. So this is a good thing in the mod. So I would say it's basically a little bit towards realistic, since as a general you can't basically kill full cav unit in like one splash of a damage, but the cavs can kill you in a split second because they have the amount of troops there as well as the armor and stuff too. So I could like close an eye on this issue for cavs being OP, and it's not to say that the cavs are actually that really that OP, because some of the cavs are easily countered by these kind of elite units, so it's understandable. But yeah, unit balance in terms of the leveling is outright thrown out of the window for this mod. If you were to play, I would suggest you to don't play that fast, like expansion wise. because you really don't have the economy to handle this full stack. Like the units are expensive to the point that getting a full stack of units for Liu Yao already requires almost what, 30k, around 30k, and you can see your economy is dipping because of the upkeep cost. This is already 2.7k for these units, and the recruitment cost for this unit, this stack, I've actually calculated before, and I've also explained it in my Bilibili channel. So the total unit cost recruitment, I'm talking about recruitment, not upkeep, is 56k. 56k, yeah. So it is 56k per stack. The generals come free because they don't have a unit, but like we can clearly see here, they have no units, so they don't have any unit cost and unit upkeep cost. But the moment you give them units, they become expensive because they come with their own cost. So this is around 56k. So 56k under the condition that Cao Cao already have the Chen commandery, the Kingdom of Pei, which is usually part of the Chen commandery in the base game, but they split into their own city itself. And you also, Cao Cao also have Pengcheng, this area here, the Huainan commandery and Hefei. So with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So assuming that they have 9 cities, if I'm not mistaken, 1, 2, 3. Assuming Cao Cao have 6 commanderies, you won't be expecting that Cao Cao with 6 commandery could spend 56k just to get a full stack like this, right? But actually no. He can. It's not just him. Anyone can. It's just you, the player, can't. Cao Cao can get 5 full stack with just 6 commandery. At the maximum, I would say, at the maximum, 5 full stacks, level 10, 56k each. 50k stacked, 56k level 10 stacks. That is around 5 of them. So you have an expenditure of more than 200k for 5 stacks. So this is the numbers that I basically calculated. So this is what you are facing in the mod. Diplomacy wise, it is stated as war and diplomacy mod, but I don't ever find the diplomacy any interesting. Like, you want to marry someone and they be like -998. So what's the point of even getting a female general from the other side? There's no point. So it makes it like you can't actually cheese something. Like, I want to make sure that I get the enemy generals, the female generals, so I just go for the marriage bait. No, things don't do like this. Let me show you how. So let's say we go for Big Dong here, Dong Zhuo. So for the mod, what they do is, if you have a female character, you can marry out but never get someone into your court. So if you were to do a marriage proposal, you are marrying, like let's say I'm Liu Yao and I want to get Dongli into my faction. I can't. Why? Because they are doing this the old way, which is the girl, upon age, when married, they would follow the husband. So like let's say Liu Yao's daughter here, if I were to propose the marriage, is I am marrying my daughter to Dongming, and I'm giving Dongzhuo my daughter. But if I have a son and Dongming have Dongbai, I want to marry him. I want to marry her. So it means Dongzhuo have to give me Dongbai to ensure that the marriage proposal is sealed. So this is following the traditional Chinese family stuff that even now our community here still uses. Doesn't matter you are in China, you are in Taiwan, you are in Singapore. That the concept is still there. The wife always follows the husband. So this is basically what the mod did for the game. And yeah, so basically what I want to talk about is the hardcore part, which is their unit balancing is out of the window. It's not to say it's fully unbalanced. There are some units which are balanced, but AI have their own way of. The AI already have their own cheats in the base game, and because the modders, when they do the mod, they made it hardcore, so the AI gets even more benefits, get even more cheats, you know. And when they use the benefits that they got from the mod, implement it together with their cheat, you eventually get something like Cao Cao with 6 commentary but pumping out 6 full level 10 stats, 5 to 6 full level 10 stats, each of them worth around 56k in terms of recruitment cost. And where does that income come from? You will never know. So I do understand that there are some which are already replying in Bilibili. They say that cities like the in a way commentary you have the Ye, the Yinchuan, you have the Xuchang, the Cheng commentary you have the Chen, I think Xiaopei, all these stuff. Even Chang'an they are the, as well as Chengdu. So these are some of the cities which are, if the player were to hold it, you gain much more advantage because they have their own buffs. Like for example, if I got Jianye, I have a buff which is plus 70 prestige, and for this commentary I will always get plus 7,000 population, and I will always make sure that our enemies will get a negative 20% campaign movement range. Then the fishing, in terms of peasantry income, the food resources, I will always get a plus 30, and the extra buffs are here. I get a 150% increase in all resources, all income, and plus 100% in what we call commerce income, and 250% increase in peasantry income, which makes this city worth 4,500 gold per turn in terms of the tax and all the existing buffs that this city gives. So this is the reason why some factions, their economy is so strong, is because the cities are actually the ones that are providing the buffs that they need economically. And having Liu Yao with just a Wu commentary and these two is not enough. Like even if you complete it, even if you destroy Sheng Xian, the entire Wu commentary itself is not enough for you to go toe to toe, head to head with Cao Cao, because you eventually have the economy to spam 56k after 56k against you. So this is the one thing that is causing some imbalance there. This is what I suspect the imbalance is there. But that is up to the modder's decision to do, because historically they are following some of the historical path which some cities are very much better than the cities in the south. Like some capitals like Chengdu or Chang'an, maybe even Luoyang, Yecheng or Xuchang. Maybe Jianye was also part of it and stuff. So some cities are actually very good for economy bonus, in which I do kind of respect the mods for actually putting the effort into it, but it does in a way cause some economic disadvantage for the players who doesn't have them, and the AI who gets them would eventually amplify their cheat. So you will feel the pressure, like you'll be wondering how the hell did Cao Cao keep spamming 56k on you turn after turn, because look at this diplomacy screen, you can clearly see that in terms of gold, Cao Cao is very rich. So this is very rich. In terms of food, Cao Cao is also very rich. While you, on the other hand, you are not that rich. In terms of food, you are also not that rich. So you are facing a dilemma now as a minor faction who doesn't even get any of these major cities. So I kind of am disappointed in the disadvantage here, but we are also playing on legendary difficulty, so you will definitely know the AI will further amplify the thing to the maximum stuff. So basically, it's the moment you play as a minor faction, you are fucked from the beginning. So I don't want to drag this so long. I don't want to drag it for too long. But yeah, in terms of war and diplomacy, there are some cons, there are some pros, and I would say for beginners, I won't suggest you to play it first. There are so many other overhaul mods and stuff you could do, like let's say the UAD, the Chibi mod, or even Radius mod and stuff which you could play with, which are beginner and intermediate friendly. As for hardcore players, Throne may be a joke to you now, but this is possibly what you might be looking for. And as of now, I would say for the English translation mod is not complete. I've tried to do I tried installing the English translation mod, and it doesn't fully translates everything. Even some of the city name were just outright gone. There's nothing there. But overall, if you do want to try, you can actually try. There is a mod list below the description which you can go and check one by one, and this is basically how you line up your mod following the mod list. But yeah, I'm just here. This video here is just to rant about war and diplomacy mod. Why you feel that sometimes when playing this mod you might feel stressed up. Even Radius mod would be like 10 times easier than this mod. I'm not joking, you know. Like I could find Radius mod even easier than war and diplomacy, because for Radius mod is everything's cheap for you, so you can build up your economy as fast as possible. For war and diplomacy is a whole different case. You have expensive armies, but you have the economy. To build up your nation. So if you were to put more effort on the war, then you will put less effort in your economic development, thus making you poorer and poorer the longer you play. So this is the side effect of the mod. If let's say you spend less on your military, but in return you spend more on your economy, you build tall and tall and tall, eventually you'll be like snowballing everything, which this mod is trying to do, maybe. So there's a check and balance between war and development in the game for war and diplomacy mod, which I kind of like, compared to Radius, which is, you know, economy and military both at the same time developed. It is actually a good concept. You can spam all those cheap units and stuff. You can play with the units. That's one thing that I like about the Radius mod. The unit, there are tons of it, and you can play with any of the units to, like, oh, I hate this Onyx Dragon. Oh, look, there is a better Onyx Dragon units here. Oh, the Trebuchet is just basically normal Trebuchet, but look at this, you have Thunderclap Trebuchet and stuff. But so you can play with the units. For War and Diplomacy mod, however, is different case. Each faction have their own units, and each region have their own units as well. For example, Tanyang Qingjing, this is, I believe, I'll make it in translation, this is the Tanyang Green Turbans. So these units are available in the Yang province, which most of the factions in the Yang province can get them. Like, for example, Liu Yao, Yan Bai, who can even get them as well. Wang Lang also can get, like you can clearly see here that there's units in Wang Lang's first stack here, which have the Tanyang Green turbans. Sheng Xian will also get them. Next up, you also have other Shan Yue units like the Yue Warriors here. The Shan Yue Warriors. I believe, these are some of the dragon units, but most of the Yang province units, especially the factions in there, they could recruit them. I haven't actually tried, as a northern warlord, like for example Cao Cao, take over the Yang province and recruit them. I've forgotten about whether or not I could recruit them as Sun Jian, because as far as I remember, there's no Tanyang units for Sun Jian, which is the units that you see now. These units, the Tanyang Green Turbans. Instead, I can see units like these two here, which are normal for all factions. And yeah, I think these are all that I could say about the mod. There's just pros and cons. You have to live with it if you actually play with this mod. Of course, there are times where you would, basically rant at the game because of the mod, which I did in my Sun Jian campaign because of that one event. But I would still play this mod though. It's just that I need to learn more by losing more campaigns, and hopefully I will be able to create another new let's play for the mod. Maybe the next let's play I will be using the English. I'll be doing it in English, which I'll upload it in YouTube. Then after the English one is done, I'll be going back to Bilibili with the Chinese version and be like, find another faction to play with. So I would say the mod is around 5 out of 10. Like 5 out of 10. For my personal view, this mod is 5 out of 10. So you can try at your own risk. If you don't want to play with it, it is up to you. There's other mods like Chrome, Radius, and MTU and stuff, UAD. So these are all the mods that if you want to play, you can go and play those mods. But if you want something more hardcore, you can try out War and Diplomacy. You just need to follow the mod list and install the mod. And when you open up your mod manager, make sure that you order them following the mod list order. So I believe I have speak. Okay, I think that's all for today. Hopefully I'll be able to start recording new campaign, but yeah, that's basically all. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next play then. Bye.